Hello, my crafty friends. I'm going to do something a little different today. Um, it's just why my channel is called My Eclectic Life because I like to do so many things. And today I'm in the mood to start spinning again. I didn't do spinning and weaving both. I haven't done any spinning or weaving at all to speak of in a couple of years. But before that, I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed learning all I could about it, and but my back was bothering me so much, and I was just in pretty poor health for until last year, and so a lot of things I was just learning how to do. I started doing paper crafts because it wasn't as hard on my body as spinning and weaving, but and so I focused on that more in the last couple of years. But for the time before that, I was spinning and weaving, and I'm really missing it. So this is something I started about a year and a half ago. I got one half of it done, and I'm still trying to finish the other half so that I can ply them together. And this is my little wheel. She's a pretty persnickety little girl, but I love her. I'm gonna change the camera angle and show you my wheel and some of the yarn that I've spun in the past. Still haven't done anything with it because I want to weave with it, and I haven't been able to weave. So I'm not used to moving this camera. So this is my wheel. It's a small castle style wheel, upright castle, and I ordered it from the Netherlands back in, I don't know if it's 2013, probably 2013, and I love it. It doesn't spin really fine yarn. These yarns over here are pretty much what it will spin, and these are singles here. The rest of these are all plied yarns. Most of them are just 2-ply, um, but it's fun. And most of them I dyed the fiber myself and then spun it. This one I didn't dye myself, but the rest of them I think I pretty much did. And so I like dyeing it as much as I do anything else. Now this one I didn't dye. This is a wool and silk. It's got a bunch of different things. Let's see what it says it is here. It's Corriedale and Lincoln. That's what this one is. It had some Lincoln locks and then Corriedale wool, and I carded that into a bat and spun it. Um, this one is kind of scary looking, but this is one I did from just little bits and pieces. Um, I call it crazy quilt yarn, um, because it just reminds me of the crazy quilts where just little bits of stuff all everywhere. And the rest of these were some that I dyed and spun. They're all different kinds of fibers. This one's alpaca, and I didn't dye this one though. I did buy that one dyed already. This one's got some silk in it, and this one right here is just the natural wool and silk. It's wool and silk. It doesn't say. I don't remember what kind of wool it was, but it's fun. I've enjoyed spinning, and someday I'm gonna weave me a Ruana with some of this stuff, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the rest of it. It may all go into a Ruana. Wouldn't that be wild? But right now, this is what I'm working on, and this little wheel has a fairly decent size orifice for your yarn to go in, so you can make some bulky yarn in it. And it was made probably to spin just a regular worsted size yarn. It may have been originally made to spin flax. I'm not sure. It has this. Let me get this off of it so I can show you. Whoops. You can take this off, and stick something in there. And I don't know if that was a distaff to hold your flax or your wool, or if it was to hold a yarn winder to wind your skein on. But that didn't come with it when I got it. So it just came with the wheel and these 3 bobbins. So I can make 2 bobbins on here, and they hold quite a bit. I would say probably about 6 ounces of yarn. So maybe 8. I don't know. They hold quite a bit. They're pretty big bobbins. But so I can spin on 2 of them, and then I can ply onto the 3rd one. And what I'm trying to do right now is go ahead and finish. This has been sitting on the wheel just like this for over a year. And right down there in that bowl, that's the rest of what I've got to spin of this particular fiber. And once I get that done, then I can ply it. And then I'll have a really pretty yarn. I think it's going to be really pretty. I don't know if you can see, the colors look a little pinker or something. They don't look quite as rich as they do in person. But anyway, it's fun. I thought I'd take a few minutes now and spin a little bit. This is the flyer wheel, the flyer. This is the bobbin. This is the whirl. If you were using a hand spindle, you would call it a whirl. And then, of course, well, I call it a treadle. I can't remember for sure if it has a different official name or not. But since you treadle on a loom, and I think you treadle here too. But I may be wrong about that, so don't quote me. Okay, I'm going to put my camera up, and I'm going to do a little bit of spinning and see if I can remember how. I think we'll probably be lucky if I can get this to. Let me tie this on here. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, when I spin, I take off the shoe that does the treadling because I can feel it. I can feel it better, and the motion's better for me. And I put my yarn in this. My fiber in this bowl here. That's a bowl that a Polish pottery bowl that my sister got when she lived in Germany. She went to Poland and bought some Polish pottery, and she gave me some pieces, but she gave this particular piece to my grandmother. And when my grandmother passed away, one of the things in her will was that if you had given her something, you got it back. And so, since my sister had a whole set of Polish pottery, she gave this one to me. So I use it for a lot of things. Usually lemons and limes sit in it on my table, but sometimes I clean it out good, and I use it to spin because it's pretty. And I like pretty things. I got to show you this too. A good friend of mine in the Weaving Guild made this for me. It's got pockets, and it's double-sided. So if you're spinning light fibers, you can put this one here, and you can keep your stuff, scissors and whatnot, in here. I don't have anything in it yet because I haven't ever used it. And if you're spinning dark fibers like I'm spinning right now, you can put this here, and that helps you to be able to see your drafting zone and everything a little bit better. I'm gonna go this way. I want you to be able to see my hands, and so I'm going to try to zoom in here and get myself in position where you can see my hands while I'm spinning. I may not want you to because it's been so long since I've done any. I may not even know what I'm doing anymore. But we're going to give it a shot here. Okay. Let me unwind this. I have this little thing that keeps it, just keeps your place so that the yarn that you've already got up here on the bobbin doesn't come unwound and lose the twist. Holding the twist in the fiber is what spinning's all about, putting it in there and keeping it there. And that's why on this bobbin, you see I have I have this clamp here because when I took the bobbin off, I needed to keep that twist in, and so I clamped it right there to hold it in place. Um, so that the woo, now I'm gonna have to look for that. Um, so that the fibers would stay good. Oh, good grief. Okay. Anyway, we'll clamp this back and put it over there out of the way. Oh, good grief. I did all that. Oh, sorry, folks. My brain is. I, I just looked up and thought, oh, goodness, I didn't even start the camera, but I did. Sorry about that. And I'm not even going to bother editing it out. You're just going to have to laugh at me. This is the fiber that I'm spinning right now. And one thing, when you, or at least when I dye fiber, it ends up felting a little bit. And so it's not quite as easy to spin as if you buy it done from the factory. But I like doing my own. Um, let me. I like doing my own dyeing because it just feels more like the whole project belongs to me. I do have some fleece, and some of these things over here that I carded were done with that fleece, but I do have some fleece that I bought at a little wool show, so right off the animal. So I had to wash it and do all that and card it and do everything to it, and that really feels like you've accomplished something when you spin with that. But this was a roving that I bought, so, and then I dyed it. And one thing you need to do when you're first, let me go ahead and tie that off a second here so I can do both hands. When it has felted a little bit, it's not quite as easy to spin because it mats up just a little, not enough to keep it from being spinnable, but it just doesn't glide through your hand real easy. And so what I do is, and this is a roving that's been split into smaller pieces because I didn't want huge long repeats of color. I wanted my repeats of color to be fairly constant and short. And so so then I split it to make the repeats of color shorter, and then I come back in and I kind of fluff it a little bit to make it easier to draft when the drafting comes. Drafting is being able to draft is really important for spinning, and it's the thing that probably takes the longest to learn because you want to be able to draft and spin at the same time, and you have to learn by drafting first, and then you draft while you spin after a while. So we'll see if I can still remember how to do this. Let's get the wheel going here. Come on, baby. Here we go. You just pull. You can pull forward, and then let the twist come into the wool from pulling forward. And I'm not one of those people who's done enough spinning to have something that's works perfectly for them. So but I typically pull forward like this. But you can also pull the fibers back. And the only thing that changes really is which hand's moving, because you're still holding the twist from coming into the fibers with this hand and drafting with your other hand. So I usually do it like this, I think. And I usually do it closer to my body, but if I did it as close to my body as I normally do it, I would be out of the camera range. And you just spin and you let the twist come in and depend. Woo! I lost it. That happens. And then you have to go, let me get up here so you can see what I'm doing. You have to go up here and find it again. And see, some of those other fibers just kind of wound off on there. Okay. And I gotta see this little piggly thing here. You don't want that either. So let's see if, I'm not sure if I can go back far enough to take that off. Whoa, or not. No, that's way under there somewhere. Okay. Try not to do that. Okay, just a second. Let me get this back on here. Okay, now I broke it off again. See, you can tell I haven't done this in a while. I probably should have practiced first before I got on here and started spinning in front of you. But anyway, okay. My wheel just wants to go. Well, either too far or not far enough. Okay. Now this is coming twisted. See how the fiber, I don't know if you can tell the difference between this twisted fiber and this fiber that's loose. If I pull on this, it's just going to break. So I'm going to have to go back further than I wanted to in order to keep that stable. Okay. So let's go here. And then I have to come around these hooks because you move as you fill up the bobbin, you change hooks. And then I've got this, this is a latch hook that I took the little flippy thing off, but it works perfect for this. And you just grab a hold of the yarn and pull it through. And you want to keep the twist in there while you're doing that. Okay. So we will see if we can start again here. But first I need to get this respun. And then attach this onto it. I'm getting my yarn to be even. There's probably going to be, when you see this yarn plied, hopefully, I'm not a terrifically even spinner, so hopefully there will be enough variation in the rest of the yarn that it won't be totally obvious where I started today after sitting there for a year doing nothing. But after you do it for a while, it becomes more of a natural thing to draft while you spin. But the wool has a staple length, and you can't draft but about half of that staple length without it coming apart. So you have to kind of know what the staple length is of the fiber that you're spinning and only pull that much. I think this one has probably about a 3.5 inch staple length. So I'm only spinning, I'm only drafting about 1.5 inches, trying to keep that from pulling apart. If you draft too much, you know it because it comes apart. You can listen, you can hear my wheel. Sounds very busy, doesn't it? Like I'm really doing something. And I am, but right this minute, this isn't relaxing. But when you do it often enough, it becomes relaxing. And if I had it over here closer to me where I'm used to spinning, it would be a little more relaxing too. It is a lot of fun. And if you're a fiber person, if you like fibers, if you like yarn, there's nothing better than making your own yarn. You don't have to dye it even to enjoy it. Just, there are so many people out there who do such a fantastic job of dyeing, way better than I do, that that you can buy fibers already dyed from, and you can enjoy spinning your dyed fibers even if you don't do any dyeing yourself. And so And once you've spun some of it, oh, I'm going to lose it. Let's see if we can add on here. Okay, I saved that one. Let me go a little bit further, and then I'll show you how to tell kind of what your yarn will look like when it's applied, so you can know. Need to make sure I've got a good amount that's well, I went skinny again, so I'm going to have to go a little further. Sorry about that, y'all. You can know if you're treadling fast enough or too fast or whatever by how your yarn looks when you kind of test apply it. I'm trying to get some that's even enough, and I'm just not spinning it terribly evenly right now, so we may just have to show you what it looks like when it's not even. It's still pretty, it's just not even. Okay, let's go a little bit more, and then I'll go ahead and apply some back so you can see what it looks like. Well, it's beginning to feel a little bit more natural now. It's like my hands are finally going, oh yeah, I think I remember how to do this. My foot's speeding up a little too much, maybe. We'll see. Okay, let's slow it down here. Okay, now then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to let the twist in. Let it relax a little bit. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's what this yarn will look like. Oops, let me come back here. That's what this yarn will look like. I can't get it up to the camera because and probably back here where you can look over my white thing will probably help. Anyway, that's what this yarn is going to look like when it's okay. And that's all I'm going to do for you for today, but it'll give you an idea, and I'll do some more spinning later, and I'll try to do a video later also. See, I've got this, and I've got this whole roll. I've got this whole roll left to do, so I'll spin and talk to you later, and I'll do some spinning on spindles too, but today this is what I've got to show you. Bless you, friends. Have a great day. Bye-bye.